All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today? All right, he's lying, by the way. So while he figures that out, let's see what's going on here. Peter, maybe mute your other browser, the one that you're connecting your camera with. That should help. All right, guys. Excellent. So welcome, guys. What an exciting day yesterday. I mean, just looking at Zoom alone was insane. The action that we're getting here. Yesterday was unreal. Today already great pre-market action. Cannot wait to get into that. We have a couple of things here in the green this morning. So we'll get into the market pulse in a second. And then a futures gapping down. Actually, DVAX we've been looking at before. I don't think we have looked at INVH, so we'll get into that one. But again, just an amazing day. Our watch list was incredible. Tons of stocks, tons of movements. We can't really get into. We will eventually start getting into doing the top plays and highlights like we used to do, where we will go back and look at some of the plays that played out, some of the levels that we had, and how everything took place at the morning open and into the trading day. But just look at everything: Tesla, Zoom, mRNA. It was probably the worst one out of everything, and then everything else traded so clean. American Airlines too was amazing. United Airlines was amazing. Just tons of stocks, guys. Just amazing opportunity yesterday. Yesterday was a day that a lot of people that I spoke to were in the green nicely, just because of the continuation that we were getting. So that was amazing to see. Peter, can you actually do a sound check? I think on YouTube they cannot hear you. Just do a quick sound check.
Guys can hear me on YouTube. It's so weird with this echo. I can't figure. Anyways, we will.
All right, can you guys hear him okay? How about the chat? Can you guys hear him in the chat okay as well? Gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get to it here. We do have an amazing list. Let's start with the kind of get an idea of the market pulse, Peter. What's going on there, and give us what's happening. What's the latest and greatest?
I'm hearing that on YouTube. They're saying they can't hear me. Oh, maybe they can hear me now. Clear now. All right. Perfect.
Good, good. And do you have
Yeah.
echo? You're good to go.
No, I still have an echo. I'll just have to deal with it. So, um, yeah, look, today in the markets, I'm expecting it to be relatively sort of like a normal day, if there is such a thing. Every day we said has been very interesting for the last, I don't know what, like month. And it doesn't mean they've always been exciting, but they've been unique and interesting.
Yes.
Uh, because you just never know what to expect. We don't have any Fed announcements today. The only thing that comes out is that I'm aware of is the motor vehicle sales, which is not usually a big, it doesn't change the market at all. Although we are going to be talking about some car rental companies, I think, a little bit. So, we'll just see what the market brings right now. The SPY is marginally up, so the markets haven't moved significantly, and we haven't seen a lot of movement in the international markets or the bond markets overnight. So today, I think we should just see slow, steady movement, hopefully, and some good trading environment.
Yep, looking forward to it as well. Hopefully, we can get a pretty nice day like we did yesterday. That would be amazing for it to start of this week. So, all right, let's get to it, guys. Let's look at our main watch list today. Let's look at what's gapping up right now. We have tons of stock here. So I'm going to do the first maybe top four or so. Then we'll look at some of the ones that we've been following for some time. NCLH, CCL, Zoom. We got some other ones on here. Obviously, all the airlines are on here. And what I like today is we do have some of the banking stocks on here. Bank of America, West Fargo. I don't see JP Morgan. That's a good one that trades very clean, but we'll take a look at that one as well. So let's start with the top with WU. This morning, I'm going to remove these stocks that we have here, make some room for our watch list as we get going. Okay, here we go. All right, nice. Get some columns in here, and then let's see what WU is up to this morning. So these guys are up right now roughly 13%. Not a whole lot of volume, only 112,000 shares traded. I do like this poppy. This is Western Union. We have looked at this one before plenty of times. Again, they don't trade all that well, but today with this pop could be something exciting. And Peter, if you have any news on any of these, definitely jump in and interrupt me. For the most part, this one is looking decent. Again, we just need a little more volume on this one today. Let's take a look at SB. Yep. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. MGI definitely has got a lot of activity, even last night after hours and this morning, a whole lot more volume. It is a lower price stock, trading almost down at a buck 50 here. So WU is a better price stock, sitting a little bit higher. That's more of a comfortable range for me. So we'll see. And this pop is a great one. If we can get the volume of some kind of continuation here, this could be nice, depending on, like you mentioned, news. CLDR. This is one, guys, that we trade quite a bit here in the room. We keep following on this one. It's one of the stocks that can get some pretty good continuation. Look at it yesterday. Traded very nice little uptrend. It looks like almost a lot of stocks went north yesterday, but this one did it with some pretty nice style here, with some good opportunities. Very clean on these moving averages. Today they have 123,000 shares traded. They are up 8.4 at the moment. What I love about this, and we've been looking at this before, is the levels that we're breaking through here. So right now we're up 8.1, possibly getting to some highs here before the market crash here. We're slightly below that. Looks like 12 or so. 1230 seems to be the most recent high here before the crash. So this will be exciting to see how this is going to react. Again, nice pop here, nice comeback on this stock. The last couple of days, I mean, last couple of weeks or two, really, you can see here how great this stock has been. I mean, just unstoppable. So I like what I'm seeing here on this one. Let's definitely throw it on there. Again, pre-market action is not all that great. Hopefully we can get more volume and get going here. ADAP. This one it is again just been incredible to watch. We had a huge gap up on this one. It is gapping up another 7.2 today as well, so it's looking pretty good. 312,000 shares traded. Look how it traded yesterday. Did not do much right off the open, but then it just became explosive into that 11 o'clock. Was able to hold all these moving averages, and look at the pop here. So definitely worth watching. AP. It is not a low flow stock, guys, but I'm going to put it down here because you do have to be mindful of the number of shares you take on this ticker. This thing here can really rip your face off if you get caught in the wrong side of this trade. So you got to be very careful with this one. Next we have SB. Yeah. Gotcha. Peter, I think your sound is not coming through the actual chat room. So the members are actually hearing you through my headphones. So again, if you could just make sure that the chat room is the one getting the sound so everyone can get it, including YouTube. So, and again, apologies, guys. Peter got on last minute because Norm is having some serious Wi-Fi issues. So again, I called him literally 5 minutes before. Hey, you got to get on. He's like, absolutely. So he's always looking forward to help out. So let's give him a bit here to get going. In the meantime,
okay. I just tested. I turned. Sorry, I think I might have hit mic mute on the sound for YouTube. The room seems to say they're okay. Hopefully, in YouTube, you're hearing me right now. So let us know. But we'll keep going.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, let's take a look at SBSW. This one came up and then disappeared. I thought we had looked at it, but here it is, guys. This one is up quite a bit. The volume, though, does not look great. It looks like a foreign stock. It is a foreign stock, so I am not going to be watching this one. It's really kind of all over the place here. So let's skip on this one. Let's head down over to BTIQ. Now, I know this one has been very explosive, guys. We've been watching this one for some time here. You can see how how incredible the daily looks. I'm going to remove some of these levels so we can get a clear picture. Right now, 103,000 shares traded. Had a big day yesterday. Had a couple of big days within this this pop here when it started getting some significant volume. So some real big days here. You can see how great this has been trading. Had a great day yesterday. If we look at it here, we didn't have this on our watch list, and the volume was just so light. This was a sleeper yesterday. You had to catch this one really on if you were watching it based on a continuation from this great consolidation it had here, or if it hit your scanners. Look how beautiful it traded. Nice ABCD patterns here getting going, and then you can see how great it held these moving averages and was so strong into the close. So this one could be worth watching, guys. It could be explosive. We've seen it trade very well. It is a stock that it's not a low flow stock, but it's sitting at that 25 million shares flow, so slightly above 20, which what we would consider something to be careful with. But again, the moves on this has been pretty wild. So again, just got to be careful. We could throw it up here, VTIQ. Again, just be mindful of your number of shares on this one. Work is next. So I know you were just mentioning that one. Works looks exciting, guys. I'm definitely going to have this one on our list. It's looking very good this morning. And it's incredible to see, as I mentioned, talking about work, let's look at Zoom. Again, just Zoom yesterday was insane. I missed this. I was waiting. This will happen sometimes when you wait for your 5 minutes, you get stuff like this and just never comes back. And that's what happened here. It never came back. The trade here was the breakout at 184.98 that we had here based on pre-market high. That was the entry there. I was looking at it. I'm like, this is time to get in. I'm like, no, let me wait 5 minutes. And boom, was too late at that time. So you win some, you lose some, guys. I didn't get this opportunity. And here, it just never looked back. And this is where you got to be careful. Throughout the entire time here, this thing was taking off, I kept hearing Brian's voice. Do not short strong stocks. Do not short strong stocks. And this was the stock you did not want to short yesterday. Every pullback was being bought. Every time you thought it was going to reverse, it just found a way to crawl its way back up. And then after hours, it goes even ballistic and goes up to almost 210, 209. So very interesting this morning, guys, to see this stock doing what it's doing. 413,000 shares traded right now. Definitely on our list as one of the stocks that's trading very well. CAR this morning. Let's take a look at what we have here. So CAR right now, somewhat moving sideways, 126,000 shares traded at the moment. Big day yesterday for it, and a few days before had a great consolidation here between 22 and 19. So nice big movement here. I think that it could definitely be in play today for a possible continuation. Let's see what it does. Not as exciting right now pre-market wise, but let's see if it can continue to get a little bit better. All right, guys, I'm just going to skip down. Yep, go ahead.
On CAR, we do have a couple of pieces of news just to be aware of. So I think this is partly sympathy because of the bankruptcy of Hertz. The general perception is that the car rental market will be less crowded, and Avis Hertz Avis Budget should be able to take advantage, CAR. Also, one of their major investors actually added to their investment, an SRS Capital, which owns something like 24% of the stock, just added into it by another couple of percent. So the fact that a major shareholder like that is taking the opportunity to add more to their holdings was seen as a good thing. So I think we might see some movement in CAR today. We'll see. It's one of those sketchy ones. You never know if it's going to move till after the open. So I would, Carlos, maybe on a secondary list, but yeah, you're not probably going to see a lot before the open.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah, definitely put it on a secondary list. Again, not all that great right now in the pre-market, but the daily looks amazing. And with that type of catalyst, worth having on our secondary list. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the ones that we've been somewhat watching, some of the favorites, right? Let's look at the cruise line. Let's start with CCL this morning. They are up 3% right now at 853. Let's look at NCLH is looking at the moment. They are also up nicely, 972. So a lot more volume on NCLH. And if I look at both of these side to side right now, they both got an amazing daily, possible breakouts, a lot of room here to possibly get going. But CCL seems to have the slightly better daily. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. I meant NCLH has a slightly better daily chart because they're above this area of resistance already. So I'm not going to watch both of these guys. I've been watching NCLH a lot more than CCL. I've been throwing CCL in the background as a secondary. Also, you have guys like Thor and Andrew who's been watching these stock quite a bit. So if they see something great, they'll call it out. We can quickly tune into it and take advantage of it. So that's the cruise lines. Look at the airlines. Then we'll look at some of these banking stocks that are showing up here. So the airlines as well, we're up to almost 2% on United with some pretty good volume. Pre-market's a little bit all over the place, but we're starting to getting used to seeing this type of pre-market action from these travel stocks. And at the open, they're providing good opportunities. So United was great yesterday. They're looking pretty good today. Here's Delta as well. Very similar situation, not as much volume as United, only 476. Let's look at American Airlines. This was one that was very active yesterday, and today it definitely got the volume. So between American Airlines and United, I like United more. It trades slightly better, but American Airlines has an amazing volume in pre-market right now, so I definitely want to keep an eye on that. But United Airlines is usually the one I trade that does very well, so I want to keep that very close. All right, let's look at some of these banking stocks that are up. Let's look at Citigroup. So right now, for the most part, not a whole lot of volume. Again, trying to get up here, up 3%. Let's take a look at what's that? West Fargo WFC. See what's going on there. This was a little bit more active, 176. And then JP Morgan, we'll take a look at these three here. So I think West Fargo might be the best one out of all of them right now. I think they have some pretty good action, decent volume. Again, some potential here to get going, but we need a lot more to happen this morning for this one to be active. So guys, that is what we have. Let's take a look at Peter. What do you like this morning? What do you have on your list?
That you haven't mentioned, I will mention Dick's Sporting Goods, DKS. They reported they missed their numbers. Not a surprise, though. The expectation was they were going to miss their numbers, but they've started to release, they've been really pumping out a lot of information to try and hype up the stock. Online sales are up significantly. They're touting that their total sales or in-store sales are only down by about 4% over the period. So it looks like that PR campaign's working because their stock is actually up this morning, low volume, but it may move after they open. The daily, I sort of like the daily here too because it's sort of been consolidating. It might actually jump up, so we'll see what happens. But that's Dick's. The other one that I saw news on this morning was Apple. In case you like to watch Apple, big shopping day coming up in China, right? June the 18th is always one of the biggest shopping days of the year, and apparently Apple has slashed the prices of their phone, the iPhone 11, in advance of that. So I don't know what that'll do to the stock. I can see that Apple is down slightly pre-market, but we may get some movement on that as a result.
Yep, I see some activity definitely on Apple. So pre-market action is very active. I love the daily as well. If you look at the daily, it says we've been having a real tough time getting above this 323 area right on. There's a nice consolidation happening here. Let's see if we're going to just bounce around here or possible breakout. Let's see what that does. All right, guys, let's go to the room, see what you guys are watching this morning. What do you guys like? I see Sam throwing out Tesla. Let's take a look at that. Tesla, again, big day yesterday. Let's remove some of these levels. We saw the beautiful breakout here, and then it took off. And if we look at Tesla yesterday, it just took off right at the open. Nice pre-market action right before the open, as you can see here, getting a nice little pop coming right back down, and then the buyers really pour in and take this up to new heights over here. So again, we're strong for almost the entire day. Another stock that really did well yesterday. Today, possible continuation play. We do have 191,000 shares traded, slightly down 1% or so. But again, once you break out of such a great area of resistance here, like we had over the last couple of weeks, and getting above the most recent high, which was around here. This was sitting around 8.7. I'm going to mark that down. That's going to be an important level later on. It could be interesting to see what we get going here. So I do like Tesla. I'm going to throw it on here for the moment. All right, what else we have? DKS we do have. That is on our list. GAN. GAN is one that we don't have a whole lot of data on the daily. So this one, let's see how I traded yesterday. Yesterday, it did get a pop here. Again, just looking at the candles without seeing the actual price action, it looks a little bit choppy the way these candles are forming. In the way I'm mentioning that because if you compare the volume you're getting there, only 8 million shares traded yesterday, and you compare it to like a Tesla, look how nice these candles are being formed, right? It's a lot tighter on there, a lot more volume. So again, without looking at how it actually traded, it's a little tough to say how this is going to be today. So I'm on the fence on this one, guys. We'll come back to it. I'm gonna throw it on here next to Tesla. And again, also just the fact that we don't have all this daily information for me, it's a little bit on the negative side. Okay, let's take a look. What else you guys have? Let's look over here. DKS we have on the list. GH, Stan is giving us GH. Take a look there. So GH, we are down 5.5 right now. Let's look at the daily, how we're looking here. So the daily seems to be a little bit all over the place, and the reason for that could be the type of volume we're getting here, right? So again, the volume is very light, 2.5 million shares on a regular basis or lower. For the most part right now, pre-market action has 134, but look how that 134 is being traded. I'm not seeing a whole lot of action there right now. Oh, that's right, we didn't go over to our gapping down list. So GH is right on here, guys. Let's take a look at this. So GH is on here again. I'm not liking this one, so I'm not going to add it just yet. Let's look at mRNA is gapping down as well. This is down 2.93%, 219,000 shares trade. I think this is a good one to watch, guys. The pre-market action might not show you all that much, but yesterday we had a nice little opening breakdown here, and then a nice VWAP reversal back to VWAP. So again, that was nice to see as well on it. From there, after that, it got really choppy, really tough to trade, just kind of going around, wrapping itself around the moving averages there, not doing all that much until about 1 o'clock or so. So mRNA, guys, a good possible as well. Let's add that one on here. This list is filling up pretty fast, as we can see. Let's look at INVH. This one is not doing a whole lot, guys. 431,000 shares traded, but look how that is trading. So you probably have a couple of block trades on here that are not creating a good activity for this. So we'll skip on that one. SPCE has been obviously very active today. They are down 2.4. And they're getting into this congested area of consolidation of support that we have seen over the last couple of months right on here. So we're kind of stuck in this range. I'm not seeing anything all that exciting in the actual pre-market activity. So this could be a possible, guys. We have a whole lot on this list. I'm going to throw it on here for a possible later on this morning. All right, let's take a look at a few more. Hold on, let's look at DVAX. Just want to check what's going on there. This had a huge day yesterday. I did not have this on my list. We did not watch this one. Again, just another one that was a sleeper in the pre-market and then just took off here into the open. So for the most part, possible continuation, guys. Volume in pre-market is very light, but it did this yesterday, right? Even worse, because it did not hit any of our scanners, and look how great it traded. So if you have the space, you can add this one. I am not going to, guys. Right now, if we get more space later, once we go through this list, I can come back and add this one. All right, let's see on YouTube. What do we have? We have some stuff being thrown on here. BTQA has a meeting at 11 a.m. Thank you, Bao. Definitely worth noting. ZS this morning. Wow, look at ZS yesterday.
Yeah, it was a big mover yesterday. For sure.
Yeah. We didn't have this one on the spotlight yesterday, unless it hit scanners after, I'm assuming. But it had the last 2 trading days have been pretty decent on this one. So, and again, obviously, this does not put in a big. Actually, we looked at this on Monday because it had gapped up. I remember that now. We looked at it on Monday. Monday was a big day as well. And yesterday didn't have a great pre-market action. An example of a stock that also was very explosive. So today, also horrible pre-market activity. Not great volume, but this seems to be the norm for this type of company. So definitely worth taking just a quick look at, or even putting some levels just in case it's going to be explosive today. All right, let's take a look at GH is on a secondary. Okay, so it is on a secondary. It might not be all that great to watch. That type of news usually does not trade very well, so I'll definitely won't be adding that one. All right, 2 more, guys, 3 more. TENX. Now, what do we have here? So TENX is one that we have seen this type of stock trade before, guys. It is not a pretty stock to watch. Look at the action right now. 7.6 million shares traded. It is more of a penny stock, which we really don't focus. Trading under $2 here for the most part, and down over to 75 cents. So we're not going to be looking at this one, guys. I'm going to pass on it. Again, it's very active right now. We got some very significant volume coming in. Very exciting pre-market action, but it's just not the type of stuff that we watch. WWR this morning, another one that's kind of sitting in that penny stock type deal here. Again, very active right now, up 152.2 million shares traded right now. But again, another one of these stocks that it's just breaking out, being very explosive. Usually does not trade very well. Usually more of a penny stock. And our strategies do not trade well with these type of stocks. So we're going to skip on that one. All right, and last one, and we'll come back to. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say, for those that are watching TENX, they did have
Hmm.
news. They had a positive phase 2 trial. As Carlos says, though, it is a low float. I see a little under 7 million shares available in the float. So you got to be careful. With that being said, I did actually trade a low float, the DGLY, yesterday. So occasionally, if the conditions are right, they can make sense. We also had CETX, which is another one we were looking at yesterday. So if you're watching TENX, as Carlos says, just be really careful on it. It's one that can have a lot of chop. So far, pre-market, I'm not seeing a lot of exciting activity. So I'd be very cautious if you're looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zoom, we have, guys. I have Zoom right on here. This is definitely one of my top ones this morning. I mean, it had just an amazing day yesterday, and I expect today we're going to get some kind of continuation. Already, we're starting to see a pretty decent pre-market activity out of Zoom. Again, 400, almost 500,000 shares traded. It is up 3% after a beautiful breakout yesterday. Not only did it just blew right by this level of resistance that it had, I mean, it crushed it, going from 184 almost to 209. Right into the close. So again, it's a very strong stock. Yesterday, today, we can see some kind of continuation today. So we're also hitting all-time
And
highs
they
in this.
report
They report this
Zoom reports
afternoon.
after the close. After
Hmm.
the close today. So we could see some positioning on it as people move. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday. It doesn't matter what your personal feelings are, the valuation, that's inconsequential to day trading. We are here,
Yeah.
technical traders, looking at the market momentum. So, Zoom could go up or down as people reposition towards earnings, but either way, it should be interesting.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'll tell you, it's got to be tough to be a fundamental trader in this type of environment. I mean, I'm not a fundamental trader, and I don't know all the stuff they get into, but I know that it's got to be tough trying to look at these companies and evaluate what they're worth and what they're going to do going forward. I mean, I personally think Zoom is not worth this much, nowhere near. But again, like you said, it doesn't matter what you think, right? So. This is great to see. All right, guys, let's get over to the market pulse, and then we'll come back and do some levels here.
Okay. So, as always, guys, we have a lot of activity happening here at Bearable Traders, lots of stuff going on. We do release today a new podcast, so we'll be looking forward to that. So, check your podcast provider. Look for Talk with Traders from Bearable Traders. We have new material coming out. I've had the opportunity to interview a number of people, and I'm pretty excited about not only the one coming out this week with Dr. Jonathan Katz, where we have a great discussion about, actually, it's very, very topical about the current market, what your motivations are for trading, and how you appropriately manage that. But we've got some great ones coming up in the next couple of weeks as we release every 2 weeks with new podcast material. So stay tuned for all of your podcasts. And then in the room, we also have a number of webinars that we produce for our members that you can watch at any time. Carlos, that display, I can't even read it. My
Yeah,
eyeballs are
yeah.
like. But anyways, this week we've got Getting Over a Losing Streak. Carlos is leading that. That is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So Carlos is going to be giving us that sort of webinar, and that's probably a very, very good one for right now, because I know a lot of people in the room. We've been having this conversation. It's a tough market. As I said, they've always been interesting, but it doesn't mean they've been exciting. And I would make the differentiation there to say they're tough markets to trade. You have to be at the right place at the right time, and sort of unbiased as to the direction is, because you never quite know what a stock is going to do. But if you are positioned properly, you can take advantage of the technical signals. That being said, you could get yourself into a position where you have a number of losing trades or losing days in a row. And it's important for all of us to know how to manage that, because it can happen to anyone. Trust me, anyone. So getting over a losing streak is the topic of our webinar for tomorrow night, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And then next week we'll be joined by a special guest to do a session on a trader mind fitness. And it's sort of part of the theme that we've had over the last couple of weeks about how do you manage yourself and your psychology going into trading. And guys, we keep harping on this because it is actually an essential part of trading that is often underlooked. You're not competing against the markets when you trade. You're competing against yourself and your bad tendencies. And if you can manage yourself, you can be a successful trader. So Trader Mind Fitness is our upcoming webinar on that's the 10th of June. So that'll be a week from tomorrow on the 10th of June. And I'll say, last but not least, we'll come back to tonight. Dr. Katz is always good at providing us insight. He was on yesterday morning. As I mentioned, we got a podcast being released with him today. And you can join us live in terms of how to cope with anxiety. Again, another very topical discussion. I got to tell you, I personally am experiencing anxiety right now with everything that's happening in the world, and that has nothing to do with trading. But I have to be very conscious that bleeds over, and it can bleed over into your mannerisms, your behaviors, and how you choose to trade. So being aware of that and being able to manage that is essential, and I'm looking forward to that session tonight with Dr. Katz. I believe that's also at 8 p.m.
Yes.
So join us, great, in the webinar room with Dr. Katz tonight. Every day we have been doing the market close, and it's a lot of fun. Mike, Brian, and I have a ton of fun in the afternoons as we sort of close it out. And hopefully you'll join us. We live broadcast that onto YouTube, so you can join us on YouTube just to see what the room is like. It's more active trading. We sort of take you through where we have real trades. We'll show them to you. We sort of tell you what we're thinking and how we get in and out of those trades, as well as general market analysis and overview and conversation about you never know what. So it's always a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll join us this afternoon. And if you do want to join us on a more permanent basis, we're offering you some opportunities. You can join us for a 1-week trial for $24. You can use the code premarket24 and just see what it's like. We have a great room. We have great members. I really encourage you, if you're just sort of considering whether you want to join us at Bearable Traders, give it a shot, right? It's not expensive. We've really kept the costs low so you can give it a try. We acknowledge that every room is not for every trader, but we do think if you're like-minded like us and you have an opportunity to trade in the room, you'll sort of see the value and be wanting to join us permanently. And if you choose to make that leap, then use the code podcast to get 40% off your lifetime membership if you're making a one-time payment option. So hopefully we'll see you on a more permanent basis in the room. So with that, we have one last announcement I'd like to say. Congratulations to Justin. Justin said he's out there trading from the hospital as his wife is about to have a baby. So first I got to say, dude, what are you doing, man? Put it away. Focus on that. That's one of the most important things happening in your life. And hopefully everything will be fine. Congratulations, though, to you and your young new family coming forward. We're all, our thoughts are with you today as you're in the hospital. But we appreciate you being a member here. And let us know. We want to see pics after the baby's born, and let us know that everything's going well. So congrats to you and Justin, you and your wife.
Absolutely. Congratulations. All right, guys, so let's get into it, guys. Let's go through this list. Let's fine tune it a little bit here and see what we're going to keep. So here's our main list, and we do have a possibles list down here, but some good ones are coming up out of that list as well. So we'll see what we do. Let's go through it. So here's WU at the moment. Again, these guys have a nice big gap up, guys, 15%, 186. Volume is starting to get going here a little bit nicer than what we saw earlier today. So I'm inclined to keep it on here just because what's happening here. We're above the 200 moving average as well. Again, just a nice big gap up on this company. Plus, they have news behind it, right? Possible merger with MGI, as Peter mentioned earlier. So MGI is here. They don't have the greatest pre-market action right now. I mean, they have 3.8 million shares traded, and this is what we're getting. So not all that exciting. Also, lower price stock trading around 150 now, sitting at $3. For some reason, WU looks a little bit more exciting for me. I like the daily a lot better. I also like the price range I'm seeing here. So I'm going to keep that one out of this group. But we know that MGI is part of this catalyst. So if we see something happening in that area, we can definitely tune into it. Here's CLDR. I like their daily on CLDR. Has been strong over the last couple of days. Yesterday, hitting the top of this area of consolidation resistance. We're getting above that now. And now the next area is going to be up here. So I like the way that is setting up here. We'll take a look at it as well. VTIQ has been very explosive, but right now their pre-market action is not giving us anything all that great for the most part. So I'm not sure if this is just going to be the sleeper for today and they're going to be explosive with a possible continuation at the open, or are they just going to chop around. Again, big day yesterday, going from 30 all the way up to 33.75 and now getting above their recent most high here. So I'm on the fence on it. I think I'm going to move it down to a possible. I want to see a better pre-market activity come out of this one. For the most part, we're not seeing that right now. So I'm just going to move it down to a possible. Not going to get rid of it completely just yet. Here's work, guys. These companies have been just destroying the market lately, well, including Zoom, which is next. I love the pre-market action right now. We are up 6.6% on this one. 481 with a beautiful pre-market activity. Continues to trade very well with some decent volume here. Again, last couple of 2 days have been amazing and very explosive. Breaking out as 32, hasn't really looked back. Look how nice that has been trading. So I want to keep an eye on this one. Zoom for sure. I'm going to keep this for a possible continuation. Even a possible sell-off, guys. We're all-time high. We're very extended from the area we're trading at. I'm going to remove some of these levels because now our highs and lows got some new information for us down here. So you got to have Zoom on your list today, especially after what it did yesterday. Here is CAR. So CAR has not a lot going on right now, but Peter did mention they do got some news. I do like the daily, the breakout at 22 ending strong yesterday, and now we're getting close to this 200 moving average. We're kind of dipping our head again, banging our head against it now in the pre-market high. So I like the setup there. We'll keep an eye on it. NCLH pretty much going sideways right now, but the daily is giving us a potential breakout here, guys. Look at the pattern we're getting. We're slightly above this beautiful area of resistance, so I want to keep an eye on that. Out of United and American Airlines, let's see what we're going to keep. They're both pretty much trading the same right now. Just trying to see if there's an edge over one or the other that I like more besides the pricing on United and how well I personally have been trading United. I think United might be the one for me. But guys, you cannot go wrong with any one of these two. They're both looking pretty good, and I'm sure probably Delta is also looking amazing as well. Same thing with Delta. So pick your favorite. My favorite is obviously United, so I'm going to watch that one. But you cannot go wrong with any of the airlines and travel companies that are moving pretty good right now with some good volume. Here's the banking stock. So we have WFC. We took out Citigroup. So WSC for the most part, I want to keep an eye on it and have some levels for this that we pretty much have some already. But let's review those again and just kind of make sure that we have the latest and greatest. But I want to have an eye on some banking stocks here because a lot of them are up around 2%, which is normal for these type of stocks to do so. And also they have some pretty good volume, right, guys? 186 for Citigroup is a nicey stock. Doesn't trade a lot of volume. That's a lot of activity for it this pre-market. Here's ZS. ZS also very active, losing the previous day close here in the last couple of minutes. Now we're down 1.3, only 55,000 shares traded. But as we mentioned earlier, this is definitely could be the sleeper for today. Look at the type of action that it does in the pre-market, and then look at the way it trades, and it's done that for the last couple of days. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one. We got some good possibles on here. I'm not going to go through these right now. I'm just going to look at Apple and Tesla. These two look very good, so I might come back to them. We'll fine tune it. Let's focus on the main list for now. All right, here's a WU, guys. So again, nice big pop. Not the best pre-market action, but we want to keep an eye on this one. High of the pre-market sitting at 24. Low of the pre-market 22.38. We're slightly above this 200 moving average. So I'm going to mark this down because this is the strongest moving average on the daily. So I'm going to put this one down here. It's sitting around 23.50, 53. I want to keep an eye on that one. See how the action is going to be around that level. Towards the bottom, we do have a pop here at 23.13, so you want to have that marked down. And if we're going to get above this 24, clearly a level here at 25.50, and then another one all the way up here, nice one here at 25.21. So that is WU. Let's see what happens here. Again, pre-market looks okay. Wish it could be better with more activity, but again, there's still time to get going here. CLDR, guys, over the last couple of days trading very well. High of the pre-market sitting at 11.88. Towards the bottom, you got your highs and lows from the last two trading days and the previous day close. Got you covered nicely here. Now I'm going to zoom out and see what we have here towards the top. Above this 1188, 1220 is the next great level of resistance that we have. Also the most recent support in a very long time. We had this beautiful drop all the way down to $5. Now we're back up almost to 12. So CLDR, a nice little bounce here. Yesterday also traded very well and very clean, guys. Aside from having a great pop here yesterday, it was a very clean trading day for it. So looking forward to hopefully getting some of that continuation today. Here's work, guys. Very active. High of our pre-market sitting at 39.50, so let's mark that down. Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last two trading days, and look at the last two trading days, how great that has been, just here and here. Just very nice, beautiful breakout at 33, as I mentioned earlier. So hopefully this can continue, but again, it's getting a little bit extended, so I'm not sure how long this can keep going. If we go over here to the left a little bit, and let's see what we have towards the top of this level. Not much. We're back our IPO price. Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. I know Peter loves his IPOs and he's great at that, announcing them. Their IPO price was around, seems to be 38.55. So we're above that. The highest all-time high we have here is 41, almost 42. So that is very interesting for this stock. Makes it even more interesting to watch this morning. I mean, it's already looked good, but this is going to make it even a better one to have on our list. Here is Zoom, guys. Obviously, we cannot talk enough about Zoom this morning. Our high sitting at 212 here. And Peter, you had something to say?
No, I was just going to confirm what you were saying, that, yeah, work is interesting because it's been a long journey for anybody that held this pre-IPO. So it could be an opportunity, and yeah, we could see it pop.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I mean, this has been a very nice drop here since the minute it opened up. Has not seen anything positive, and today they're back at that price. So that's good to see, and it creates some movements, guys. When we get close to that price, we are going to see a lot of activity and a lot of action. So we don't have anything above this 40.23, guys. We got some pretty good levels here, and your highs and lows towards the bottom on Zoom. Here is I'm sorry, on work. Here is Zoom, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, the all-time high right now, 212.90, 212.88 to be exact. Is what we have here. Towards the bottom, guys, you really have only these levels. Previous day close, high from yesterday, and the highs from the last 2 trading days, which has an amazing support area right on here. Well, resistance that now can become support. I'm looking forward to see how this one's going to open, guys. I think it's going to be very explosive. It's a little bit extended on the daily, so let's see if it has the strength to continue to rip the way it's been ripping now. Other buyers are going to show up here. Here is car, guys. So we have 2670. 27 actually on the dot is the high of the pre-market, but below that we do have the 200 on the moving the moving average on the daily right here, 26.20. So I'm going to mark that down. It's a good level to have. The price action is below that, and then in between that now we do have our highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, and also the previous day close, pretty much the low of the pre-market right now. So a lot of action here, guys, in regards to levels. As far as the actual pre-market activity, I'm not seeing anything all that great, so I am gonna move this down for a really good possible, and we'll fine-tune this possibles list, but again, it's not showing anything all that great, but they do have a catalyst behind it, as Peter was mentioning, so I want to keep a close eye on that one also. Here's NCLH. I picked this one over CCL, but again, you cannot go wrong with either one. I think NCLH has a clearer daily, a slightly nicer area of resistance here, right? Clearly slightly above that, so we got an opportunity to get going here with some minimal resistance towards the top right now if we can squeeze here. So we are up slightly 3% this morning. High of our pre-market sitting at 1833, so we'll mark that down. Towards the bottom, guys, do not need to add anything. You have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here, plus the previous day close. So again, plenty of levels, and look how clean this thing has been over the last couple of days. CCL has the same exact daily, not as clean as NCLH, so you can pick either one, whatever your choice is, but I'm going to go with NCLH this morning. Another level here, 2018, guys. After we get above this area pre-market high, you have nothing else that's clean until this level right over here. Here's United, guys. Everything looks good. Delta looks good. American Airlines looks good. Everything looks good when it comes to these travel companies. You can pick which one you like. United is going to be the one for me today. A high of the pre-market sitting at 30.85, so let's mark that down. If we can get above that, we do have a perfect level right on here, 32.72, which we tested a couple of days ago. So nice level there. You can see how many times that has been tested. Very clean there as far as a level of a possible resistance. Then towards the bottom, guys, obviously plenty of stuff going on. You got moving averages, you got levels of highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Just a lot going on down here as far as support between the price action now and 26 bucks there. WFC, so this is the banking stock I want to keep an eye on, but it's not really doing all that much, but I know this is good for a banking stock because they don't do anything all that overly exciting, as Peter will say. Right now, high of the pre-market sitting at 27.70, which is marked there for you by the high from yesterday. Another level we have here is 28.30 as well. A great area of support and resistance. If you draw a line right on here, guys, you can see how many times this level has been tested, and we know by now the more a price level is tested, the stronger that level is going to be. Every time we get here, we're either having a change in direction or bounce or an explosion right out of this level. So that's a good target to have. If we can get above that, The next main level that you can see here, guys, is going to be 30.40. Again, that's a far stretch, but you can see here how many changes of directions do we have, how many support and resistance we have hitting that 30.40 level. All right, last one on our main list is ZS. Now this one, guys, had a huge day yesterday. It is down slightly now, has gone as far as 1%, looks like. Low of our pre-market sitting at 108.60. This thing was green for the most part of the pre-market, and now it's kind of losing it here the previous day close. Two really big day yesterday. Let's see what it does today. Possible continuation one way or the other, really. And then if we just scroll to the left here, I want to see if we have anything in between these levels that we have here that have been explosive over the last couple of days, right? So in here, guys, pretty clean right now. I don't see anything. It looks like we might be sitting at all-time highs. Yes, we are. So again, you don't have any more levels above this. This is all you have really when it comes to daily levels, and moving averages are not catching up just yet. So again, could be very explosive. Let me show you, if you're just joining us, good morning. Let me show you what it did yesterday. Yesterday had an amazing pop here. Did not do much pre-market, guys. Did not do a whole lot. And look at the pop here. Beautiful continuation from what it did on Friday. So all right, let's quickly go through our secondary list. Let's look at what the moderators are watching. CAR is a good one. VTIQ is a possible one as well, very explosive. ADAP, I'm going to remove. I don't like the way this stock usually trades. DKS is a good one as well, as Peter was mentioning earlier. We do have a possible area of a breakout here on our daily. You can see here, nice little breakout area above the 200, so we got some potential there on DKS. Apple has some news slightly below the previous day close right now, but also look at the way this thing is just consolidating right on here on Apple. So this reminds me a little bit of Tesla. Tesla did the same thing, and then it was very explosive. So if this thing can find a way to get back up there and buyers show up, it could be very nice. Tesla, a good possible for continuation as well, so I'm going to keep that one on here. On there, GAN, I'm going to remove, guys. It's just not a lot of data on this one. mRNA, I'm going to remove as well. I'm not watching this one. And SPSE will be worth watching, but not one of my favorites. Definitely on this possible list, DKS, Apple, and Tesla are the best ones on this list of possibles right now. All right, let's take a look at what the moderators are watching this morning. Let's take a look at Thor's list. So Thor's list is very tight here. He's watching Work, NCLH, and BP. So nice that you switched from CCL. I'm shocked that CCL is not on here, Thor. So here's Peter's list. He's watching Zoom, United, UAL, Work, and secondary CLDR, WU, and MGI. Those two are news of a possible merger. DKS, Car, and Tesla. All right, let's go down. So Jerry, he's watching. Let's see if he has his list down here. There he goes. So West Fargo, he's watching a lot of the banking stocks this morning. West Fargo, JP Morgan. As we mentioned, I think West Fargo, again, does not look like a whole lot, but this is a lot of action for these type of stocks. So he's watching West Fargo, JP Morgan, Oxy, Microsoft, and Tesla for continuation. Eamon has Zoom, ADAP, DKS as his main list, and then secondary CLDR and Work. So that is very, very nice. And then wait for Brian and Andrew to throw their lists out this morning. So, all right, Peter, anything else that you like? I see you have a pretty nice list.
Yeah, two I'll just mention in case people are interested. Both earnings plays, but no surprises out of them. BZUN, so a Chinese company, they beat their estimate. Absolutely no action pre-market, so nothing exciting going on there at the moment. But who knows, after the open, that might be interesting. The only other one that I was looking at was CBRL. This is Cracker Barrel. Not something that I will likely trade, however, and again, no activity pre-market, but they missed their numbers as you would expect. And I just think that it looks to me like it's sort of sitting there for a drop. I'm surprised to have seen the on the daily it have increased over last couple of weeks and then sort of stabilized. So we'll see what happens this morning. If it pops up on my list, I might pay attention. At least you know what's behind it.
Excellent. And we have William A-Dog in the YouTube chat. He's throwing out Uber. He likes this one for a possible breakout. So yeah, that's also has a very similar one situation to what Apple has as well. Possible breakout also there. So great volume yesterday. Let's see what it does today, man. We'll definitely take a look at that one. So we have a question. Do we see good volume on NCLH? Yes, absolutely. This is amazing volume. 1.2 million shares. That is great volume on this stock. So, and aside from the volume, let's say this was even down at 500, whatever the case may be. These stocks have been so explosive. They're worth watching. Also, look at the way the daily's setting up on here, right? So it is definitely worth watching. This is amazing volume. Doesn't get better than that, really. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining the pre-market show. We will. Oh, Brian's list is here. 1 second. BTIQ. He's already in BTIQ, so he's taking a trade there already. Very nice. He's watching WU work, SPCE, and Zoom this morning. So that's Brian's list there, and he's already taken a stab here at BTIQ pre-market. So very nice. Looking forward to see how that's going to end for him. All right, guys, take care. Trade safe. We will see you tomorrow, and Peter will see you tonight at 8. Well, this afternoon at 8:30 for the pre-market close. I'm sorry, for the Wall Street close. There you go.
3:30.
3:30.
You
Take
bet.
care, guys.
We'll talk to you then. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much.